Hi everyone, and welcome to part 2 of this tutorial series on how to create a custom Neorg module. So in the first part, we have created this simple Hello World exercise. Now let's try and make it a little more personal. So right now Hello World is a little bit generic. Let's make it so that when we open up Neovim, we are greeted by name. We can do this by adding a configuration table for a module. So let's type module.config.public, and this is a table. Here we can add all our personal configuration that can be edited by the user. So let's say that we want the user to type a name, and the default value here could be world. And that's basically it for adding a configuration table. It was very easy. But of course, we have to change the load function in order to show the name. So let's do module.config.public.name and the exclamation mark. So let's save. Since we should already have this module loaded in our configuration, we can just quit Neovim, open it up again, and we still see Hello World. And that's fine because we have not configured this module, so it is using the default value. Let's now go into our settings and open up Neorg. We have lazy.envim here, but you could have packer.envim. It's basically the same thing. Let's now go into our module definition and let's add name equals, in my case, my name is Andrea, so let's add that. Right, quit, and let's open it up again. Hello world. Okay, that clearly is something wrong. And the error here was very clear, very explicative. It says non-standard tables found in the module definition. Did you perhaps mean to put this table inside of the config table? And that is not the first time I do these mistakes, but basically we should open up the Neorg configuration. And here, as you can see, I just put name equals Andrea in it, but I should really have done this config equals table and then this inside of here. Now let's save, quit and reload, and here it is. Hello Andrea. So it was very easy to add a custom configuration for our module, and as you could see, there are options that we can add to our module. For example, the config.public option, but this is not the only one. Let's take a look at the GitHub for Neorg. It is not yet in the wiki, but you can see within the file neorg/lua/neorg/modules base.lua. You may be familiar with this because it's what we are importing in our module. And here we have a base module definition. These are all the default values for a module, and also explains a little how these functions, these options interact with each other and what use they have in our module. So we have, for example, a setup function that returns a table and have a requires value, a success value. This function, we will see in future parts, is used to require other module and use their API inside of our module. Then there's the load function. We are already familiar with this. Then there's onEvent function, and this is how Neorg modules react to something like a keybind, a command that gets executed, auto command that fires from Neovim. Everything gets triggered and passed to the onEvent function. Then there are some other things that are a little less useful, like Neorg post load. Honestly, never use that, but you know, it's there. Name and path are just some useful information. Private is an important table. It's the table where you will put all your functions that make the logic of your plugin. These are functions that should not be exposed. and are only like utilities functions and logic functions. Everything that you do not want other modules to see, you put it here. Public is the exact opposite of that. Public is like your API, it's all the functions and methods that your module expose to the public, to other modules. Then there's config, and we have seen public, but there is also a private configuration. So if you want to set some settings, some options, and it's useful to have them in one place, but you do not want to share them with other module, you can put them here. Then there's events, and especially the subscribed event is very important. It's what will allow us to react to keybinds, to commands, and we will see how to use it in the next part of this tutorial. And basically that's it. You can take a look at this file. I will put the link in the description. It's in the Neorg repository. So that's it for this lesson. This was a very short tutorial, but we will have a longer and a little bit more complicated tutorial in the next part. So I hope to see you soon. Have a nice day.